Hi there everybody, and welcome to this Get Strumming special where I'm going to teach you how to restring your ukulele. Now this is a tie bridge ukulele. Now bear in mind there are three different types of bridges. You get the slot bridge, the pin bridge, but this is probably the most common. This is the tie bridge where the string pokes through the bridge and you tie it up at the bottom. So this is what we're going to be restringing today. Now there are several different items that we'll need. So first of all, we've got a set of Ukulele strings, and then we've got a F-zone tuner to help us get everything in tune once we've finished. We've also got the string winder. Now this will make life so much easier instead of having to tighten up and slacken with your fingers. Just does the job in a fraction of the time. And also we've got the string cutters here. Right, okay then, so to begin with, we're just going to have a look at the different parts of the ukulele. So we've got here the bridge, this section here. The white bit here is the saddle that the strings cross over. We've got the sound hole here. We've got the fretboard and all the frets going up or down. And then we've got the tuners and the tuning pegs, and this whole section here is the headstock. So those are the different parts of the uke, just in case I might be referring back to them. Okay, so the first job is, as you can see, I've bust the A string and I was thinking, you know what, it's time to restring. Now a lot of people say to me, how often should I restring my ukulele? Now if you're giving it some lick and you're playing quite frequently, I'd say once every 6 months. What happens is, if you don't, the strings get a little bit tired, as they are on this ukulele. Listen to the low G here. It's really dead and flat, and it goes boom. So this ukulele needs restringing pretty soon. So yeah, I'd say once every 6 months basically. Good, right, first job is to slacken off all the strings. So what I'm going to do is use the string winder and gently slacken off the strings here. Good, now I've slackened off all the strings. Now what I'd do now is gently just cut through each string. Now the reason that you want to slacken the strings is obviously if you try cutting the strings when the strings are taut, they're liable to ping back and get you in the eye, and you might find yourself having to spend an afternoon in the eye hospital. Nobody wants that. So there we go, clip, 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 right. And then to undo them, just simply unravel them by hand. And they should simply, easily pull off here. There we go. There. And we shall dispose of these on the floor. There. Keep Britain tidy. Right, okay, so we're going to open our strings. Now I quite often use Ukulele strings, but there are many other different makes out there, and these are just simple straightforward nylon strings. Now the good thing is with these, they're colour coded, so you know exactly which string goes on which peg. So don't forget, good children eat apples. So if you're a right-handed player like me, you're going to be facing to the left. So your G is going to be here, good, C, children, E, eat, A, apples, G, C, E, A. So we're going to start off by putting on our G, the bottom string. So don't forget the G, the one that's closest to you, is the fourth string. So it goes 4, 3, 2, 1. The first string being closest to the floor. Okay, so we've got our first string. So what we're aiming to do now is poke it through the hole down on the bridge. So if you can see here, I'm going to try and make this as, whoops, sorry lamp. I'm going to make this as clear as possible. So here I am poking the string through the hole there, like so. There we go. And you're looking to keep about 2 inches clear here. So as you can see there, there's, just get that out of the way, about 2 inches there. Okay, so we've got our 2 inches of string here that's poking out underneath the bridge. So what I'm aiming to do now is feed it from the right hand side under the string that we've got here, that I've got hold of. So like that. So that pokes out under there. Then what I'm going to do is loop that. So the bit of string now, I'll just see if you can see that. The bit of string that I've got there now, I'm going to loop under this loop that I've made, and I'm going to loop it under twice just to make sure that it's going to hold tight. So there we go, once and twice. Then I'm just going to give it a bit of a pull there, like so. And we've got a little bit sticking out. Now what we can do with this bit of string that's sticking out is we can fasten it under the next loop of following strings, or if you want you can cut it off, but I'd just be tempted just to leave a little bit there. So here we go, that's what it should look like. So I'm going to do that again for you in slow motion, because I know this is tricky, and when I was a kid it took me years to learn how to tie my laces, so I've never been any good at knotting things. So here we go. So I've poked the string through the bridge, so the top bit of the string's resting on the saddle. Then I'm going to loop it under the string from the right hand side underneath the string, then bring it back up, and then I'm going to loop it through the loop that we've made here, just like that, and then loop it under again, so there's 2 twists there, and then pull it tight. There we go. So that is the bottom bit, the bridge bit of the string taken care of. Now we're going to go to the top. Now your G, the 4th string, which is this, needs to go on the peg, the lower peg, just by your face. We're going to go to the top. Now your G, the 4th string, which is this, needs to go on the peg, the lower peg, just by your face. Right, so what I'm going to do now is to poke the string through the tuner hole here. So what we're aiming to do now is to poke the string through the tuner, just like so. So there we go. And what I do, once you've pulled that through, is just leave about 2 fingers worth of slack there on the 2nd fret. So rest your 2 fingers on the 2nd fret down, and that's about as much string as you want to leave slack. There we go. So what I'm going to do now is start turning the tuning peg anti-clockwise on this side. The side that's closest to your face, you want to be turning the pegs anti-clockwise. And what I want to do to begin with is basically get the longer part of the string over this bottom part. So here we go. So it's basically over the tuner hole. So it's resting on the top of this bit of the string. There we go. So I've done that. And then, so once we've got 1 turn that goes over, then the rest of the turns can then go under the tuning peg hole. And what it does is it actually locks it into place, makes it more secure. So I'm going to use the tuner again, the wind up, sorry. Here we go. So the way it stands now is I've got 4 little turns on the tuner. Okay then, I'm just taking this to the camera, so as you see there I've got 4 little turns here on the tuner, one of which goes over the hole and the other 3 go under the hole. So you've got this bit of string sticking out. Now it's up to you what you do with the surplus string. You can either curl it up or coil it up, and then if by any chance you get a breakage down by the bridge, it gives you a little bit of excess string, so you'll be able to still use the string. But for tidiness' sake, I'm going to cut the string just here. There we go. So I've now got my first string on. Now bear in mind, nylon strings are quite elasticated, so it'll take a few attempts to get it in tune. It'll probably take 24 hours, and you might find yourself having to retune the ukulele probably about 10 times. Keep playing it, and then eventually the strings will settle down and you'll be able to get them in tune. What you could do as well, I know some people tend to run the fingers under the string like that, but try not to do that with the ukulele strings. They're a lot more delicate than guitar strings, so just give them a little bit of a tweak with your thumb and first finger and just slightly pull them like that, just to get rid of the excess slack in the string. Just keep on doing that. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to restring all the rest of the ukulele. Okay folks, so I'm now putting on the green string. So this goes under the bridge, like so. It's Mr. Shaky Hands. Here we go. So again, there's 2 inches there that's poking out. So again, I'll just show you that. 2 inches. And then we go under the string, and then back under and loop it, and then loop it again. So that little bit of string now I'm securing under the loop of the C string. So obviously you want to make sure that the string rests in the little grooves on the nut. So there we go. So there, if you can see, there are little grooves there on the nut. Make sure the string rests between each one of those grooves. I'm just going to keep checking the tuning. So there we go, there's G, there's C. There we go, that's somewhere near enough. So I'm going to just chop this last bit of string off, and this is now where the tuner comes in. So I've got my F-zone tuner. I'm going to stick it on the headstock just like that and see where we are with our tuning. So here we are on ukulele mode. G, C, there's an E, well, I think that's just about it now. So I've restrung the uke. Now bear in mind the strings are going to go out, they've probably gone out straight away now actually. There you go, the A's really slipped. You've got to keep on, just keep pinching the strings just to get rid of a little bit of the slack, and then keep on retuning. And then you'll probably find you've got to keep on doing this for another 10 times. Usually takes about 24 hours to get the strings into tune. And that's totally out, but anyway, you get the general idea. There we go. That's not too bad, is it? So, things to remember. So when you've got your strings, by the way, I'm just going to chop a couple of these little bits off at the bottom here, just to make it a little bit tidier on the bottom. There we go. So all the strings are tied up neatly on the bridge there, and they've got this kind of figure-of-8 loop that ties at the bottom of the bridge. So when you're restringing the ukulele, make sure that the strings are always on the inside of the tuners. So as you see there, the strings going up, curving round the tuner on the inside. Don't have the strings going that way on the outside. You see, they're on their inside there and the inside on this side. So in effect, what you're actually doing is the strings that are closest to your face, you're turning anti-clockwise, and the strings that are closest to the floor, the tuning pegs, you're turning clockwise. So anti-clockwise, clockwise. And make sure that the strings aren't sort of hitting the bottom of the tuners. Try and make them so that they're just curling over the hole and then under the hole. Just like that. Good. Well folks, I hope that's been some use to you. As you can see, this is going to take a little bit of settling in. If you've got any other questions you'd like to ask about restringing ukulele, then feel free to leave a message just down in the comment section and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Don't forget there are also other things you can do before you're restringing, and that's polishing the fretboard as well, but I haven't done that today. But that's another option just to maintain the health of your ukulele and make it easier to play. Well, thanks very much for joining me, and don't forget to check out some more Get Strumming ukulele tutorials. Take care for now. Thank you. Bye-bye.